Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is the latest film from DreamWorks Animation and Universal Pictures, and the next installment in the Shrek franchise. Before we get into this, don't forget to hit that like button down below. It does wonders in getting my content out there. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to keep up to date with all my content. Puss in Boots discovers that his passion for adventure has taken its toll. He has burned through 8 of his 9 lives. Puss sets out on an epic journey to find the mythical Last Wish and restore his 9 lives. It's set for release in September of 2022. Thanks to the incredible teams over at Universal Pictures and DreamWorks Animation, ahead of the launch of the film's very first trailer, I had the chance to chat with 2 of the film's filmmakers, director Joel Crawford and producer Mark Swift. Hi guys, I'm Dave, calling in from Dave Lee Down Under in Australia. It's an absolute pleasure to speak with you both today.
Hey Dave!
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
I do want to say I'm a big admirer of your work, both of your work. You of course have both worked on a number of movies that I grew up with. Together you have worked on essentially all the defining DreamWorks franchises of my childhood. I saw Croods 2 actually for the first time a couple of weeks ago and loved it. I thought it was great.
Cool, that's awesome.
Yeah. And look, I'm a big Shrek fan, so I can't wait to see this one. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. The trailer's fantastic. I'm super hyped for this one. The leading story is that this is the first chapter in a series of Shrek franchise revivals. It's been kind of a little unclear whether this is a complete reset of the franchise, a soft reboot. Is it a continuation? Could you shed a little bit of light of what's going on?
I think, we can only speak to the story we're telling because that's all we know about. But what's so cool, I mean, it's been, like a decade since the last Puss in Boots. And like you said, like there's so much love for the Shrek universe, for Puss in Boots. And so we've been really excited to, basically, this is the next chapter in the Puss in Boots story, where we pick up with Puss in Boots. And he's now like the living legend. He's like a larger than life persona, almost like the equivalent of a rock star. That we've just seen him go, like, he's fighting giants, defeating them, kind of at the height of all of this. And what's so fun in this is it's a story that takes a big turn when Puss realizes he's on his last life. He's burned through 8 of his 9 lives, and now down to his last, he's like, oh, whoa, I've got to get those lives back. And when a wishing star crash lands on the earth, he finds out he can get that wish and wish for his lives back. And so we're really excited about the Puss in Boots world, where it's just fantastical new adventure.
As I said, it looks really, really great. How do you jump into a project like this and approach it, particularly when you're tasked with developing a film 10, 11 years after the last one? Puss in Boots is now a beloved, iconic, almost 20-year-old character.
I think it really helps that we're fans. I haven't worked on any movies within the Shrek universe before, but I loved them. Everyone loves them. And it's such a rich tapestry, all that fairy tale stuff. So I think coming in as fans and going, what is it about these stories that everyone loves? And I think both me and Joel and everyone who's come on the show, it's sort of been that thing of you're rediscovering why you love them. And, the first time when we kind of recorded with Antonio Banderas, because that's when the characters, it's words on pages before then. And then suddenly you're hearing it in the voice of Puss in Boots, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is super fun. So I think it's honoring what's gone before, what worked, what do people like about these movies, and then coming in and going, what story do we want to tell with these characters? The cool thing in the Shrek world is it's kind of it's a big, vast world of fairy tales. So there's lots of places to go, lots of areas to play in, a lot of fun to be had. So I think, that's kind of the journey we've been on.
Great. Joel, you have actually worked in the Shrek franchise before. You were a story artist on Shrek Forever After. How is it now to jump back into this world as a director? You're steering the ship this time.
Yeah, it's crazy because I had so much fun jumping into the Shrek world as a story artist. And really, I think the first thing, having not worked on the Puss in Boots side of things, you know, the first thing, like Mark mentioned, when we met with Antonio to kind of pitch the story and where we wanted to go with it, that was when I realized, I'm like, wow, nobody knows this character better than Antonio. He's lived with this character for so long, and what was cool is we really all connected over the premise of this, which was an opportunity. It's absurd, right? You could see from the trailer that, you know, Puss in Boots burns through those 8 lives, and they're pretty ridiculous the way he loses those lives. And even the concept in a fairy tale world of a cat having 9 lives and being down to 1 is absurd on its face. But the thing that Antonio and Mark and I have really kind of like honed in on is, when you boil it all down, it's Puss in Boots really on his last life, and for the first time thinking about, like, what do I do with my life? And it's really just on the human level, it's so relatable to everybody because we're all just gifted 1 life. And the film poses the question, what makes a meaningful life? What are the connections that you need? And so it's been awesome hearing Antonio go, yeah, we're gonna like there's so much comedy and fun that we bring, but at the same time, there's a lot of heart and depth that even shows, I think, audiences another side of Puss in Boots that we haven't previously seen.
I'm sure I know the answer to this, but how important was it to get Antonio back into the role of Puss in Boots? What if he'd said, don't want to do another one for whatever reason?
I don't think there'd be a Puss in Boots movie. Honestly, I think it's like, you know, some people are, you don't get one without the other. I think he brings so much to it. I couldn't imagine doing this with someone else apart from him. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would have been dead. Thank you, Antonio, for agreeing.
Thank you. And actually, it's hard to talk about Antonio without talking about Salma Hayek.
I was about to say,
Kitty Softpaws is back, and you're just like, they have such a fun dynamic, and we've really enjoyed, like, in both recording with Antonio and Salma, they both bring so much. They know their characters so well, and they will improvise and add things, and we'll play something from Salma that she comes up with for Antonio, and vice versa. And you get these kind of very spontaneous sparks that feel just so real and in the moment when it's on the screen. And so we're really excited about our cast. We also have new characters we're bringing into the story. You know, I think for the first time in the Puss in Boots world, there's we're bringing a dog in for all the dog lovers out there. And so the dog Pero is played by Harvey Guillem from What We Do in the Shadows, and it's so fun. He totally embodies, I think, what we all project of the personality of a like a faithful, just loving, loyal dog that just he's so comedic, so naive, and just sweet that it's such a great chemistry with Puss and with Kitty. And there's even more. Mark, do you want to speak to the other casting we have?
Yeah, look, you know, when you go into these movies, it's like, which fairy tale characters are we going to tap into for this adventure? And so we have Goldilocks and the Three Bears, but we put our own spin on Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And they're kind of like a low-rent Cockney smash and grab kind of con artists. Sort of think of them like, you know, coming if they were in a Guy Ritchie movie. And we have an awesome, you know, cast there. We have Florence Pugh playing Goldie. Mama is Olivia Colman. Papa is Ray Winstone. And Baby Bear is Samson Kayo. Look, I'm English, and so you grow up around some of those people like that. They're hilarious, and they bring a lot of fun to the movie. But they're also, you know, this is a story about one wish. And there's one wish left in this world. And you know what? Puss in Boots isn't the only character going for this. Everyone is racing for this wish. So we have a little bit of the good, the bad, and the ugly, or you know, that sort of dynamic where all these different, slightly villainous characters are racing for it. And Another character we're having so much fun with is Jack Horner. Now, people may not quite remember Jack Horner. You know, he's a lesser known fairy tale character. In fact, he's not even a fairy tale character. He's a nursery rhyme, and a pretty lame one at that. So we have John Mulaney playing this character whose beef is like, within this world, he has no power. He has no magic. He's kind of a lame nursery rhyme. And so he wants to get that wish at the expense of everyone else to suddenly, you know, be a big player in this world. So the dynamic of all these different characters racing for this wish is where a lot of the fun in this movie is. You
have somehow made me 100 times more excited for this. And you've done half my job for me, because I was gonna try and squeeze out some casting announcements for you. You've done it all for me, which is amazing.
I'm just too excited, man.
I know, this is great. This is really great. I'm a huge fan of like pulp infused action adventure stories, and this just looks like you've ticked all those incredible boxes: Pirates of the Caribbean, Indiana Jones, etc., etc. What kind of stuff did you look to for inspiration, whether that's narratively, stylistically, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's a great question, because we're having so much fun with the rich tone and broad tone that from comedy to adventure to heart. For the adventure, one of the cool things about Puss in Boots is it's got like a toe dipped in the fairy tale world of Shrek, but it's also got a toe dipped in spaghetti westerns. Yeah. And like Mark mentioned, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've always been a Sergio Leone fan, and there's something. It's like they're like westerns, but like mixed with superhero aspect. Like that was what just stood out to Sergio Leone, you know, films for me. And so we've definitely infused a lot of that into this tone of, you got all these hardened kind of thieves and criminals who are going after this wishing star. So there's that aspect of it. I in terms of the action, there's even some fun that we have with Puss in Boots, where he's, you know, we're used to seeing the swashbuckling, which we have plenty of the swashbuckling when it kicks off the movie, where Puss is, you know, he's never afraid. He's always got a quick wit and an answer for everything. But when he's on his last life, he's like, he is, for the first time, is feeling fear. And what that does as storytellers, we're like, oh, we get to see another side of Puss in Boots, not just dramatically, but also comedically. And so Jackie Chan style action, where he's on the back foot, he's bumbling, and it's cool action, but at the same time, it's hilarious, has been a big inspiration for us.
The other one I'd throw out, which is like maybe a little surprising and maybe not so much in the action, but this is a movie that really, you know, goes a little deeper with Puss in Boots. You know, he's on his last life. He has to figure out what's important in life. And we're all big fans of Ted Lasso, you know, and I think some of the heart and empathy that comes from that show, we've definitely brought some aspects of that into the film. And I think, you know, Antonio really appreciated where we were taking his character. It wasn't just a big swashbuckling adventure. It's a journey into the soul a little bit. And I think he liked that aspect.
Yeah. How involved does he and I guess Selma get with the characters when you're recording or in the production process or whatever? I heard an interview with Tim Allen recently where he said there's only two characters that he's just, when he's playing the character, he just knows them so well, and that's Tim the Toolman and Buzz Lightyear. And he said he knows when he's recording a line, it's like, Buzz Lightyear would never say this, or he would never do this, or he would do this instead. Did you have moments like this with your cast in this film?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's one of the, you know, because even though the process of animation is to write the script, storyboard, put it up, you know, get the actors' voices in there, and then go learn some things and go, oh, that works, and then go back to them and re-record. There's a trial and error, but it's also a conversation with the actors, that it's an ongoing thing that we're finding unique things, and there's a trust involved where there's certain things we want to try that might take the actors into a place they didn't think their character could go. And then at the same time, love hearing when the actor's like, you know what, I don't think the character would say this. And I mean, Antonio, like I said, knows the character better than anybody. Love when he gives us insights. Selma Hayek is wonderful at that. And going, hold on, I think, and then she'll like, go, okay. And then she'll like find something. You're like, oh, that's magic. Florence Pugh is constantly like there's an honesty that we find that I love, that it's not just them reading the lines, but it also shows how invested and passionate they are, that we're all finding it together. So that's a big part of this. And I think people will see that translates to when they're watching the movie. There's a spontaneity and kind of like an instant kind of like you're watching moments happen because of that process where it's not all planned out.
At the end of the day, what are you hoping the audience takes away from the movie when they come out of the cinema? They've seen this. What's the big experience?
For me, I want everyone to fall back in love with this cat, and not just this cat, his new friends, the family around him. I think it has been a while since we've been in this kind of Shrek world. And so I want everyone to remember, like, if you saw it when you were a kid, why you loved it. And if this is your first time coming into it, to be excited as so many others are of this world.
Yeah. And Mark, as you mentioned that, I remember watching Shrek in the audience. I wasn't the first two Shreks. I wasn't at DreamWorks yet. And there's something that stands out. They are such great characters. And it's edgy humor. And I think one of the things that we're really enjoying is the edgy humor is back.
Right.
But I gotta say, like, I hope people, the journey, the experience that they get from this story is they laugh, because there's lots of great sophisticated humor for ages, all ages. But like I said, that this story about Puss in Boots, who's discovering, after one life, I want more lives. And there's a great journey in this for everybody, which we all just get one life. And I hope people come out of the theater having laughed and smiled for an hour and a half, and then with appreciation for the lives we've all been given.
That's amazing. Look, again, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you. Our time's up. I could speak with you forever, but I can't. And look, I'm so excited for this movie. It looks great. Your excitement has got me even more excited too. It's great to know that you're so excited and passionate about this project. I can't wait to see it. All the best.
Dave.
Once again, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish hits cinemas in September 2022. Thanks again to the incredible team over at Universal Pictures and DreamWorks Animation for making these interview opportunities a possibility. Thanks everybody out there for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Hey everyone, if you haven't yet, smash that big old subscribe button up on your screen to keep up to date with all my content, and hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to check me out on social media, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month for exclusive videos, early access content, and to get your name up on the screen. Thanks again for watching.